Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Henderson, and I am a counselor and student success coach with the Educational Opportunity Program, the EOP program. Welcome to Communicating with Professors Using Email. In this video, we will discuss some helpful guidelines for emailing your college professors. Communication is important. When you are a college student, it is important that you learn how to communicate and understand how things work in class, on campus, and in the business world. Before you start writing, you can find the answer to your questions elsewhere. Your question may already be answered in another location. Check out the syllabus, all assignment directions, postings on Brightspace, and check to see if you can get more information from other students in class before reaching out to your professor in an email. Show that you have attempted to find the answer before writing to your professor. Identify your email goal. Before you write an email, ask yourself, what do you want your professor to do after they have read it? Once you have determined the purpose of your email, you can ensure that everything you include in your message supports this action. For example, if you want your professor to meet with you or answer a question about an assignment, let them know what your concern is, what you need to know, what sort of feedback you need, and when you are available to meet. Use your college email address to email your professor. If you use your personal email address, the email could possibly go to your professor's spam folder. Steps for preparing an email. Before emailing your professor, refer to your course syllabus. Usually on the first page, your professor will include their email address or their preferred method of communication. This will ensure that you are using the correct method to communicate with your professor. The subject line. Step one in preparing your email is the subject line. The subject line is what your professor will see in their box. Some sample subject lines are shown on this slide. You want to include your course name and course number, and in one or two words, describe why you are emailing your professor. Look at the sample subject line box. A sample subject line could be algebra and trig, the class number, and assignment help. Your subject line encourages people to open the email and lets them to know what the message is about. If they don't open the email, then your message is not communicated. The greeting, the opening and salutation. Step two is the greeting, also known as the opening or salutation. First impressions matter, so when you are addressing your professor, use the title that they prefer to be called, along with their last name. If your professor has not mentioned their title, then just refer to them as professor rather than Mr., Mrs., or Miss. Make sure to spell your professor's last name correctly. Use greetings such as hello, professor, dear professor, good morning, good evening, professor. The greeting should always be followed by a comma. Step three is the body of the email. The body of an email must have a clear and specific purpose, such as getting an answer to a question or giving your professor an update about your status in the class. People will be more inclined to read your email if it has a clear purpose, and they are less likely to miss critical information. Begin by mentioning your first name, and then your last name, the class you're in, and include your student ID number. Your ID number can clearly identify you as a student in the class, and it connects with all of your contact information. Make the body as brief as possible without leaving out key information. Provide precise and direct statements about why you are emailing your professor. Explain what you have already done to address your question and how you have attempted to find the answer. Break up new ideas into paragraphs. Your message should be friendly and respectful. Look at the sample introduction box. An example for starting the email could be, my name is, list your name, your student ID number, and I am a student in your, list your class that meets on Mondays and Wednesdays at 2 p.m., which is when the class meets. It is important to include a clear purpose statement. If you need your professor to do something in response to your email, specify what action is needed. Include details on how you would like your professor to respond if you are expecting a reply. Let them know if there is a deadline they should be aware of. Look at the sample purpose statements box. An example of a purpose statement could be, I have a question about the essay due next Thursday, and I was not able to find the answer on the syllabus. Or I submitted the last assignment and I wanted to check that you have received it. Or I would like to set up a time to talk with you about a request that I have. Step 4 is the closing and signature. Politely thank your professor for their time to show that you appreciate everything that they are doing to help you. Wrap up your email on a polite, respectful tone. Show appreciation and indicate the expectation of a reply if applicable. A sample closing could read, thank you for your time and consideration. Or, I look forward to hearing from you. Or, I look forward to a reply. Or, please let me know if you need any additional information. The closing also includes what we call a signature. For the signature, use a closing such as thanks, best regards, or sincerely, followed by your full name. Here is an example that puts all of the parts together. Before you hit send, proofread your email and make sure it is easy to understand your request. There are no spelling errors. It uses correct grammar and it is respectful. Do not use emojis or text language and do not use all caps. Remember to be pleasant and understand that your professor wants to help you to be successful in the class. Your well-composed email provides your professor with a friendly, clear, and concise message that they can respond to with the requested information and actions. If your professor has not replied within 2 working days, consider reaching back out with a friendly follow-up email. Let's take a look at the template. Notice the greeting, Dear Professor, and the professor's last name. The body contains your name, your student ID number, and it lists the class that you are in. Your student ID can clearly identify you as a student in the class, and it connects with all of your contact information. There is a clear purpose statement here. The statement is you want to meet with your professor. There is a closing. Thank you for your time and assistance. And there is a signature with best regards. Then you can include your last name, and if you want to, you can include a phone number if you think that your professor will reach out to you by phone. Hopefully this information will make your communication with your professor easier. We can help you prepare important emails to your professor. And remember, clear communications get better feedback and results. You can pause this video and take notes on this email example if you would like to remember some of the pointers. Thank you for listening. I hope you found this video helpful and you will be able to use some of the strategies when you email your professors. If you need more information, you can contact me. I am located in the Educational Opportunity Program office, the EOP office, located in Begley Library, room B104. My phone number is area code 518-381-1200, extension 1025. My email is also listed here. Please note that whenever I send an email out to you, my signature will also include all of my contact information. Be sure to visit us in the EOP office, call or email us if you need any help and assistance at the college. Once again, thank you for listening.